I gotta fuck with you. I gotta fuck with you, yeah, yeah. My body on you. My body, ooh, ooh. My body on you. Nigga, you, yeah, yeah. My body on you. My body, ooh, ooh. My body on you. Nigga, you, yeah, yeah. Gotta fuck with you. Gotta fuck with you. Gotta fuck with you. Gotta fuck with you, yeah, yeah. I fuck with you, I fuck with you, I fuck with you, I gotta fuck with you, yeah, yeah. This is quite cool. I gotta fuck with you, Shembe, and this is how I'm getting into it. I just was playing the first two videos, how the Bible is literature, and how when you have this attitude of I gotta fuck with you, you kind of respond to the literature. You don't pretty much just read it and believe that it happened. And I'm going to make the statement now. I've made it before. The Bible was not written so that we may believe that it's true. The Bible was written so that we may be able to identify who is true. So that we may be able to recognize who is true. You get what I'm saying? So it's a tool that is meant to enable us to recognize who is true and become the true ones. And what the Bible is about, and the end of the story is about, it's about the Son of Man, the true custodian of life, with his holy ones, that reestablish the kingdom of heaven on earth, that create a paradise on earth. The two sons that will inherit creation. It's somewhere in Paul, I think it's Romans 4, where Apostle Paul, is writing this letter, and he says, creation itself is eagerly waiting for the revelation of the true sons of God. Right? I think it's chapter 8, it's Romans chapter 8. Let me just read it here. So chapter 19, for creation is waiting with eager expectation for the revealing of the sons of God. Right, that's what I was pointing at. For creation was subjected to futility not by its own will, but to the one who subjected it, on the basis of hope, that the creation itself will be set free from the enslavement to corruption and have the glorious freedom of the children of God. Right. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? And this is what the hope is that there's going to be a generation that escapes mortality, that becomes the heirs of creation itself. You can't inherit creation if you're going to be dead. If you're going to live and die, you can't inherit creation. But if you're going to live forever, you can actually say you've inherited creation. Life becomes your playground. Life becomes, and this is what the great objective has become. So what I want to say to you guys now, and anybody that's paying attention to this, you've got to respect. I'm going to even read the Sabbath prayer of AMANAZARETHA that Shembe put down. Mbongani AMANAZARETHA nezizukulwana zawo, ngokuba umusa wakho uhlezi phakathi. So you gotta thank Isaiah Shembe, the founder of the movement, and the Nazarites that decided to follow him, because these are the guys who are responsible, in fact, are the cornerstone that was rejected by man in the big theologians, that will be responsible for the implementation of heaven and earth. These are the guys responsible for our salvation. I have to point that out. You gotta point that out. And this is why this video is titled How AMANAZARETHA Became His Holy Ones. His holy ones? The holy ones of the Christ, the holy ones of the Messiah, the holy ones of the Government. These are people that followed Shembe and decided to follow Shembe. So not only just read the Bible and believe that it's true, but they believe that this man Shembe, a real person, they recognize the principle and say this real person is truly God sent, and this person is with God. So they believed in the idea that the Spirit of God, the spirit of the Creator, is with Shembe and has come and has revealed himself through Shembe. So because of that, they've made it possible for a man with the capabilities of God to come and demonstrate what God, the original author of the Bible, has been trying to make the point that, hey, I'm going to show up and I'm going to establish a paradise on earth. I'm going to eliminate the causes of mortality. You get what I mean? I'm going to establish a paradise on earth. So it's because of the faith of AMANAZARETHA that it becomes possible for the true God to make an intervention. I want to point this out. How AMANAZARETHA became his holy ones. And this is why I got to say that you got to love AMANAZARETHA, because they have decided to take a special vow. Right? So if you're a Christian, you just have to, I'll give you an example, you just have to say, I believe in Jesus. Jesus died for my sins. He atoned for all my bad deeds. I accept his sacrifice on the cross. And I just believe that. And that belief is supposed to be enough to earn me my salvation. But not AMANAZARETHA. AMANAZARETHA will be different because, and I'm going to include myself, because in what I've had to do, and what I've had to do is take the vow and carry the same load that AMANAZARETHA carry, because it's what we call umthwalo. Carry the same umthwalo and load in respect and in honor of them, because I need to be able to empathize with them as well. You get what I mean? You need to be able to empathize with them in the fact that they took the special vow to preserve certain customs that Shembe, the founder, or the spirit of the original author, asked them to uphold. And these customs have to do with keeping your hair, not drinking, being sober-minded, observing the Sabbath, making sure you don't cook or have any heat on the Sabbath day from the time the sun goes down to the... So there's certain habits that they must do, and there's certain ways that they must perform, certain rituals they must perform, like the dance rituals, the gatherings, and all these things. These are all customs and regulations that they take upon. And what I want to point out is not compulsory to say that a person to go to heaven needs to take on this responsibility to preserve these customs. It's not a sin if you don't take the vow of Nazarethship. However, there is a reward for the vow of Nazarethship, and this is what I want to point out. There is a reward for the Nazarites, because the Nazarites are the ones that have been purified or sanctified or set apart to be the accomplices of the true God. And this is why people don't need to get confused when they see a person like UBUNAZARETHA claiming to be... The whole purpose of the Nazaretha movement is to say these are the people who are willing to accept God in the flesh. And anybody that despises UBUNAZARETHA because of this despise the idea that God will show up in the flesh. So I'm not saying that UBUNAZARETHA is God. I'm saying that he's illustrating the point. He's illustrating what is true, that there is going to be a son of man that comes in the name of Shembe that will be God. That's the promise of the UBUNAZARETHA movement. And this is why the people that follow the movement are blessed, because when the person shows up, and this is evidence that he has, no doubt with the collaboration of AMANAZARETHA, no doubt the Son of Man or the true God will be successful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys through the custom of observing the Sabbath. And I'm going to just read this one of the songs, just so you guys can understand what I mean by AMANAZARETHA becoming God's accomplices. So I found isihlabelelo number 7 in the book of AMANAZARETHA goes, Kwavela abaprofeti. This is on the 4th paragraph. Kwavela abaprofeti baseNazaretha, beza nenkosi yabo embetha amafu. Basuka abangcwele baseNazaretha, bahlangabeza inkosi yabo iza ngamafu. And this idea is taken from the illustration that's given when Jesus describes, I think it's in Matthew 24, somewhere there, where he describes the coming of the Son of Man. Right. Matthew 24. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the heavens, and all the tribes of the earth will beat themselves in grief, and they will see the Son of Man coming with the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Right. So this is what the claim is, that AMANAZARETHA are those holy ones, those ones that have been set apart, that are willing, right? Not to say that the leader that's in front of them is, and this is what people don't understand about Zulu, being Zulu and Zulu literature and Zulu customs and rituals, is that to create the new reality, we have to illustrate the principle so that at the right time, the principle can be demonstrated. So for as long as you're not ready to create, let's just say like there's a new model of a car, you will draw the new model of the car and set and specify its specifications. Until somebody is able to say, okay, fine, we're ready to actually build the car, then it becomes real. You get what I'm saying? So this is what I'm trying to point out, that the leader that's presented to AMANAZARETHA is like that. Is an illustration of what is to come. So the people that follow the leader of the AMANAZARETHA movement, for example, Nyazi Zulu or any other factions, and the leader that's, and I'm going to say now, that's depicted as the leader of the Nazarites, when he comes to the congregation, he wears a dress to depict, to illustrate the fact that he is what's referred to as MAKOTI wasizulu. And this person wears a dress and wears shoes to illustrate the fact that he'll be walking in the shoes of the founder of the movement. So how do we know? Somebody who understands the foundation of the movement and its intentions and has the same attributes as the founder of the movement, right? Because he's walking in the shoes of the founder of the movement, and he wears a dress because he'll come like a bride to respond to the prayer of the congregation. Right, so that's why you'll see the AMANAZARETHA, if you watch any of the videos, they'll be gathered around, and before the thing comes, the bride of heaven, umakoti wasezulwini, accompanied by his groom, which is symbolized by ilati, like where the groom would sit, come into the congregation. So the groom leads the way, and the bride follows him, and he's presented to the congregation as a woman, like a bride, representing the bride of heaven. And this illustration is what the AMANAZARETHA deem as uNkulunkulu wabo. Right. So that is the perfect illustration of who the coming Son of Man is. Why this is quite profound. No other congregation, no other denomination of Christianity or Bible-holding people have perceived the anti-doctrine, which is the fact that, look, guys, there's the groom, there's the bride. The bride is the father, the bride is the creator of life, the custodian. The groom is the one that comes before the father, the custodian of life, to reveal the name and prepare a way for the coming Messiah. So nobody really pays attention to that. So the Jews don't understand this principle. They may, if they read like Psalms 110, that says, they may ask themselves, and this is where Jesus pointed out in the Gospels, like, what is meant then when Jehovah says to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I put your enemies under your feet? Right. So Jehovah, the true God, says to the Lord, who is this Lord? The groom. Sit at my right hand, assist me, give me the capability to be able to put your enemies under your feet. And this is essentially what Shembe did. Shembe prepared the UBUNAZARETHA movement, people who are willing to follow the coming bride of heaven. Even though it's just an illustration. Right? So a lot of people who will be criticizing the UBUNAZARETHA movement and saying it's not biblical, who is this guy claiming to be God, whatever. He must claim to be God because he's the perfect illustration of who God is. He's like a bride coming into the congregation to hear the prayer of the congregation and respond to their prayer. So it's an illustration. So this illustration will be used until the actual bride of heaven shows up. Right. This is what I'm trying to point out, guys. This is quite interesting. So AMANAZARETHA are people who are willing to follow MAKOTI Wasesumi. Why do I say that? The leader of the congregation is presented to them like a MAKOTI. He wears a dress, he wears the shoes that symbolize that the MAKOTI is walking in the feet, in the shoes of the groom, in the shoes of the founder. That the MAKOTI will share the same attributes and the same history and the same attitude as the groom. And he will come in Shembe's name and he will sit enthroned as Nkosi Yasephakame. Who is this coming bride? Nkosi Yasephakame. Somebody might ask, oh, but that doesn't say that in the Bible, right? Yes, the Bible is literature. It is a story that reveals what the true God is trying to do. So when the true God actually gets the principle, like, let's apply the principle. Let's make sure that the true God will come like a bride and become a bride to who? A bride to a man that will prepare a way and a place for him. Who prepared a way and a place for the Son of Man and the true coming King? Shembe. And this is why I have to criticize up front guys like MPANZA who criticize Mnyazile Zulu and say that he's it's like, dude, MPANZA, stop being get it, man. God has always tried to become a son of man. Do not dethrone God. Go start your own little church and have nothing to do with AMANAZARETHA. But the Jehovah God that you talk about, that is described in the Bible, that Jehovah God intends to become the King of the Jews. So I'm going to end this video here and make sure that you guys enjoy this. I think this is the last video. Just check it out. How my niggas will become Nazarites. And that's the next video. Let me end it there.